on holiday from Aberdeen. This ancient rope bridge was first crossed slowly by American Bob Charles, followed eventually by Barbara. And here's the man who discovered the famous Galway Oyster Festival, and the Music Festival, and the Poetry Festival, and the art. Discover your very own Ireland at discoverireland.com.
Is your sensitive skin irritating the man in the mirror? Nivea for Men Extra Soothing Moisturiser is alcohol, colour and fragrance free. It also soothes and calms the skin. Look and feel great with Extra Soothing Moisturiser. Only from Nivea for Men.
Uncle Ben's Sweet and Sour is the nation's favourite, so invite the world to dinner with Uncle Ben's sauces.
Normal's great when you get it back. That's why we let you keep your maximum no-claim bonus for the life of your policy, no matter how many claims you make. And you also get 12 months cover for the price of 11. To find out how you could get more and save more, visit us online or call 0800 300 800. More than. We do more.
ING Direct Savings account, there are no catches. And you can move your money when you like. So you can relax with the world's leading direct savings bank. Call now or go online. ING Direct. It's your money we're saving.
Your very own Ireland. Take your car from only £50 single with Stenaline. Book early at stenaline.co.uk.
The new Saab 9.3 diesel convertible, the evolution of an icon.
You survive a plane crash. But how do you survive the Andes?
How long can people live like this?
We're on our own to save our lives, and we've got to eat.
You win.
It means we should eat the dead.
Alive, 9 o'clock tonight on 5. Tonight, the team are sleeping nearly 2,000 feet above base camp. The air is thin, and the temperature has dropped to 11 degrees below zero. They only have a short amount of time to prepare their first meal of raw meat before it freezes and becomes inedible.
The thing is, to us, this is, it's not too bad. But I think that for them, it was their best friends they were eating.
Say, okay, we are going to do it. We go outside this day with Roberto, and we walk to find now a real body because they were under snow. So now we need to find it where they were. And when we found one, we don't know what to do.
We tried to convince the last ones who were not very convinced, and we offer our bodies one to each other. That's incredible. If I die before, you can use me, you can eat my body, and I would do the same with yours. It was an incredible moment.
If I had died and I could participate with my body in the survival project, I would be proud.
We cut a piece of meat the size of a match, and with Roberto, put this in the mouth, and we feel so horrible that we need to put a snow in our mouth to swallow the meat. It was horrible.
And in that moment, I thought in my mother, and that I had the unique chance of saying, this mother, don't cry again, your son is alive. And to do that, I would have eaten whatever, shit, tell me, I would have swallowed what was needed, because in my brain I knew that this was the solution, that this was the way to go, and that I had to open my mouth and I had to swallow that piece of meat.
He was the first one who had the courage, the presence of mind, the attitude to do it, and there's always a first one.
The first time is horrible, and then all your body is prepared to do it.
This is the first red meat I've eaten in 4 years, 5 years.
With all the taboo of thousands of years of our culture, that was the really great, very, very, very difficult for me to overcome.
We are kind of living for the ones that didn't survive. We are kind of taking the life project they couldn't pursue.
I didn't know at that moment all the possibilities and all the capacities I had inside of me.
Even if you might think, no, it's not true, it's not real, I can tell you that 100% of the persons that are looking at this documentary, that are sitting here, would have done the same thing on the same situation.
I'm not going to starve myself, but I wanted to give myself a couple of days for two reasons, really. One, to really see what they went through, what it felt like, you know, and how it alters everything physically, emotionally, mentally. And also because, I don't know, in some way I kind of want to honour the people. I believe the crash was the last couple of days. And I just really felt like doing that.
Starting tomorrow, I think they're going to start to feel the effects of the diet right away from their sleep tonight, probably sleeping a little colder than they're expecting. When they get up in the morning, it's going to be slow moving for them. They're not going to have the energy that they're used to, and they're still going to have to pack their bags, get themselves going. It's going to be cold up here. It's cold right now. It's just going to keep getting colder. We've got a long way to go before we get to the top. I don't see the snow getting any better. We're surely going to run into more post-holing. It's going to be another long, hard day.
It's insanely cold, as you can probably tell. We've just eaten our first helping of raw meat, which was surprisingly good.
It's our first night up here. It is absolutely freezing cold. And we're all sort of sitting there going, I actually can't believe I'm doing this.
It's punishingly cold. Although spirits are really good. And I think what's most important is we're all remembering why we're here. So for everything that's hard or difficult, we're remembering that it was harder and, you know, more difficult for those who came before us. And it's bonding us as a group, but also making us even more inspired and respectful of Roberto and Nando and the other survivors.
Today, what for us was probably the first time ever we got close to them. What happened to them, how they managed to march and track. And we've got a much better picture of what they must have going through. I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, more day after day. And more I realize those people were seriously really unusual.
I've got a feeling tomorrow is going to be even tougher than today, but I'm just not thinking about it. All I want is to get warm and get some sleep tonight. Oh, and I can't imagine that.
Next week.
Carol's working this morning and she's just not well. Maybe we should think about getting her out of here sooner rather than later. Adam's just not looking all that good, you know. He was ill when he ate the meat. He's my biggest concern right now.
The series continues next week at the same time. Next tonight, Ethan Hawke stars in the movie depicting that very ordeal in the Andes. Film drama with Alive, straight after a 5 News update.
NCIS.
Never heard of it.
A new US drama for Saturday nights.
Figuring out how things happen, you know, like action, reaction, the science of the whole thing.
It's anything like CSI?
Only if you're dyslexic.
A new series, NCIS, starts 8:20 Saturday on 5.
What happens if your latest product goes global?
At the Champions League quarter-final. With 15 minutes gone, it's 0-0 at the moment. A quick look at tomorrow's weather now. Fairly cloudy with outbreaks of rain across much of the country. Top temperatures of 13 degrees Celsius. That's all for now. I'm back with another update at 9 o'clock. I'll see you then. Bye.
Grey's Anatomy has arrived on 5.
Do I look happy? No, I am having a bad day.
You are not that good looking.
The toughest training of their lives starts here. Grey's Anatomy starts 10 p.m. tomorrow on 5 after House.
Fifth Gear rides again. The new series starts 8 o'clock Monday on 5.
You're watching 5 now. A plane crash in 1972, an epic journey by 2 survivors. But how arduous was it? Our celebrities are finding out in Alive. Back to the Andes.
Four celebrities: chef Jean-Christophe Novelli, lifestyle advisor Carol Kaplan, actor and prospective Tory MP Adam Rickett, and Royal Lord Freddie Windsor are trekking for 28 miles high in the Andes, battling through freezing conditions and suffering the extremes of altitude. They are the first to retrace this route since Uruguayans Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa did it alone in 1972 after surviving for 60 days in the fuselage of a crashed plane.
It was like a kamikaze expedition. We both understood what we were going to face.
While trapped in the mountains, they broke one of the biggest cultural taboos of our time.
The only way to live it was to eat dead bodies.
To reflect the survivors' experience, the team will cover the route with only raw meat for food.
The most incredible thing about this story is it is true.
No one has attempted this trek for 33 years. Until now. Last week, a vicious storm prevented the helicopter lifting the team to the starting point at the crash site in Argentina. They now have to climb to the peak on the Chilean side of the border, which is proving more difficult than expected.
It's punishingly cold.
I never thought this would be easy.
If the wind starts blowing hard with wind chill, it's going to be minus 20. I didn't even think that temperature existed.
The team have reached 12,500 feet. At this height, their bodies are suffering the effects of high altitude and sub-zero temperatures. They've spent the night in one tent for maximum warmth. John Houff, their guide and mentor, has come to wake them up. It is 7 a.m.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. How'd you do last night?
Pardon my French. I'm not feeling very good this morning.
Yeah.
Just a headache and just cold.
Anyone else have a headache?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
It was atrocious.
Altitude, it gives you headaches. Headaches that do not go away. It's not that kind of headache you have on the city and you have an aspirin and then it goes away. It's kind of a headache that stays with you forever.
I had occasionally headaches in the past, but I've never had those type of headaches, which goes on the both sides of your head as a bang, 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 bang.
You feel it here and here the pain.
We are not even yet halfway up, so that gives you a gauge of what the day is going to be like straight off the bat.
As the team climb higher today, they will be faced with the most severe weather conditions yet. John is doing his best to prepare them.
We're going to go up to the high point today. If you don't watch your nose, if you don't watch your ears, the cold combined with the wind just ends up chilling them and giving you contact frostbite. You're really going to have to watch out for things like always keeping a hat on, always keeping your goggles on, making sure your hands and feet are warm at all times, and keeping yourself bundled up. It's going to be hard up there. I mean, I just don't see any two ways around it.
Obviously, from the point of view of the fact that it'll be much higher and we won't be able to breathe as easily, be more tiring. The winds, according to John, will be unbelievably hostile.
To reach the top, it will be a 3,000-foot climb that John is hoping to complete before nightfall. In 1972, after 60 days trapped and 13 more dead, Parado and Canessa, along with a third man, Antonio Vizintin, nicknamed Tintin, decided to make their final attempt to escape the Andes.
We were getting too weak and we couldn't wait any longer.
The people are getting slimmer and they are like being dead alive. You see the temporal muscles going into the brain, all the bones come out, everything kind of dies like in a group.
I just looked to the west and looked to the mountains, and immediately I knew I was going to face them.
And I said, okay, Nando, you see these very huge mountains? This is only the first one of a very big queue of mountains that you need to climb.
I looked into Roberto's eyes and we understood, okay, let's go.
And I decided to transform it into a walking machine. I just would walk and walk and walk and keep going, and when I couldn't walk, I would crawl.
With no equipment, it took the survivors 2 days to climb from the crash site to the peak of the mountain. Our team will climb up on the other side and then trek for 6 days from the summit. Each night, they will set up a new camp to signpost a different landmark on the survivors' route. They will eventually reach Los Maitenes, here, where Parado and Canessa were finally rescued.
So, is that clear for what we're doing for the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Action.
The morning they've gone, it was a very special moment and very touching because they were going and we didn't know if they were going to meet them again.
It's like going from a sunny beach into the coldest weather you can imagine, with at least 3/4 of the oxygen being taken away from you, and a wind factor that could actually take your earlobes off your skull.
This is really hard, isn't it?
Whoa, I see what you mean. Very difficult, huh?
I felt like I was about to be blown off the mountain. It was like a sort of giant hairdryer viciously beating at us.
Well, that got us huffing and puffing, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead on up to the top right there and then we'll gather together again.
I cannot understand how the hell they kept on going. Because more you go down, more you make the mistake of the gamble, and more you have to suffer to go up. And God knows how hard it is to climb.
It's now 4 p.m., and the team have been trekking for 6 hours without eating any raw meat. With oxygen and energy levels low, Adam is showing signs of distress.
We'll stop up here on the rock where it's a little warmer than sitting on the snow.
Can we not get out the window bit somewhere?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any spot for us here out of the wind.
Stupid posters.
Do you have any more warm layers?
No, I've got everything on. Come on, you silly.
Go ahead and leave your pack over there.
What do you mean by that? You want us to walk on it?
Thank you. Sorry, everyone.
For half an hour that day, I was pretty close to just pulling out the whole thing. I just felt empty. I'll be honest, the only thing that got me through it was, well, the only two things was I knew what an arse I was being. But secondly, you then just realise, you know, this is what I'm going through. What the hell must have they gone through?
Adam has not eaten meat for 5 years, and the diet has affected him more than anticipated. Despite this, he forces himself to eat more.
He was ill when he ate the meat. He's my biggest concern right now.
I told Roberto once, if my face hits the ice, it will be for the last time.
Simple pleasures in life are a gift. Visa. Love every day.
Nothing is softer for sensitive skin than new Fairy Fabric Softener for a huggably soft wash.
Right, so let's see if we can get you quoted happy on your home insurance too, eh? See, pays to switch. Not bad, eh?
Not bad. It's flipping magic! Hey? Come here, you beauty. Give us a kiss.
It's so easy switching your home insurance. Visit Norwich Union Direct at quotemehappy.com and let us quote you happy.
Ah, the relentless pace of change. Monday's breakthrough is Wednesday's commodity. So how do you stay ahead? You have to make innovation part of your culture. Because ready or not, change is heading your way. IBM. Innovation for flexibility.
What would the world be like if we all saved for the same thing? Thankfully, everyone's different. So HSBC has a range of saving options, like our tax-free ISA. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Enjoy the softness of new Fairy Fabric Softener. Nothing is softer for sensitive skin.
Only 5 days until the film of the year is on DVD.
I give you Kong!
Believe the hype. Kong is king. Awe-inspiring action. Groundbreaking special effects. Spectacular king-size bonus features. King Kong on DVD. Own it Monday.
Rustle up something really special in the kitchen. Get these Napoli maple units for £299 because kitchen units are half price. And now have an extra 15% off. But not for long. Homebase. Make a house a home.
You just call on my name. You know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yes, I will. You got a friend.
Consider if Sherlock is to Gregory as Holmes is to House. His genius for mystery.
Exactly.
A sidekick doctor.
Dr. Wilson?
And an addiction to solutions.
I'm looking for distraction.
Same house.
Now you've got the proof you need.
New location. 9 o'clock tomorrow. Followed by the new drama Grey's Anatomy on 5.
The exhausted team have finally stopped for food.
Oh, God, it's cold.
Jean-Christophe Novelli and Carol Kaplan have not eaten anything in 39 hours. Carol gives in first.
Little ones for me, because I haven't had any of this before.
Would you prefer having a chunk? I mean, you can.
I'll have a chunk, yeah.
Oh, dear.
I think you're going to regret that.
I do too.
Oh,
that could be
good
fantastic.
Lord.
Do you want a smaller one? Or?
I want something so much smaller.
Adam, a vegetarian, eats the meat as well.
Like a hundredth of the
It
size.
is really cold. The meat is seriously...
Oh, that's huge. Half of that, please.
Do you take this one? No. Bon appétit, mes amis.
Now I feel warm and cosy inside.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
But it smells like...
It's now 4 p.m., and with precious little time to reach the high camp before nightfall, John allows the team only a few minutes to eat before moving on again.
Do you see it as a piece of meat, or do you see it as some things to feed yourself?
Purely adds nutrition.
I couldn't have a lot,
nothing
though.
else.
I mean, I do
No
think you
smell.
can feel sick quite quickly.
At the beginning, to work cutting meat was really disgusting and very difficult, but then became habit and something very normal for us, and we do it all the days without problem.
You okay, Adam?
Yeah,
He's going to be sick.
Thanks.
You all right?
Yeah.
Just some water.
No, I'm okay. No, I'm fine.
He expected to be fed kind of around sort of traditional lunchtime, and I think that there'd been like a few confused signals that he'd be able to eat around that time, and he wasn't. And secondly, he doesn't really eat meat at all, so eating enormous kind of lumps of meat, which he did. He sort of just wolfed down loads of meat. I think his system was quite ready for it.
When he did have his red meat for the first time the day before.
Son, I'll eat it like that.
Give us a chance.
Give this one first. Do you want some more?
I'll have loads. I'm starving.
I'll have loads.
I'll have loads more.
He had tons and tons and tons. He just literally wolfed that. And so after that, his digestive system also went bleh.
Because I've not eaten anything yet today, and it's 4 in the afternoon.
What we've got to remember is that they had no set. We're so used to having set and regimented times, and to a degree, this is still a luxury.
No, I mean, the thing is, they ate when they were hungry.
Sometimes they didn't, though.
No, they did. They didn't. They weren't eating the meat out of choice. They were eating it to survive. So they ate when they were hungry. And it's just, I've been hungry since 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, but at certain times they would have had to have managed that too.
When they wake up, they eat a little bit of meat, and they go all the day without eating anything. So that's very important if they want to recreate the situation.
I thought if we are coming as far and to experience and to be as close as possible to that tragedy which happened 33 years ago, I think somewhere in the line I should have bring a bit of respect in my own way. And also allow me to realize more how they felt with nothing in the stomach, constantly with the sense of urgency trying to escape and having a rambling things inside you constantly. And I can imagine what happened to them. It's extraordinary. Before, didn't eat anything.
At lunch, I know Adam felt sick, but he sits around and he gets into the cold posture and doesn't do anything to make himself warmer. He just wants to be warmer, and that's going to have to change. Nothing will make him warmer but him. I think other folks are dealing with conditions to the best that they're able, but today when the temperature dropped like that, it dropped maybe 10 degrees in all of 20 minutes. That was a big surprise for people, and there was a lot of standing around saying, I'm cold. And you got to do something about that. They know what to do about it, but they've got to force themselves to do it up here. We're getting a bit closer, which is probably a good thing because the temperature's dropped. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe minus 15 or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can see the drops of snow coming down, so don't know what's coming, but
So
something's
no
coming.
chance of any sun today?
No, I don't think we're going to see any more sun today. I think water is going to be an issue tonight.
Sorry?
I think water is going to be an issue tonight.
John is concerned that as the group climb higher, they are not drinking enough water.
At that altitude, you need a gallon of water per person, at least. And we couldn't even make 1 gallon for the 29 of us.
At the beginning, we started to biting snow and ice, and it hurt our teeth and our mouths, It was very painful.
We make these water machines. There were these metal parts at the back seat of the plane.
We bended the sides and we would put 2 or 3 of those aluminum sheets facing the sun, and we would put thin layers of snow on the aluminum sheet, and they would melt faster into a container.
The people that were injured, like Álvaro Mangino, that had broken legs, and Pancho Delgado, the people that couldn't walk, were in charge of making water.
The lips are the softest part of the body, and after 1 week, they start to bleed and crack. And if you you just go to sleep and the lips get stuck together because of the blood from the upper lip and the lower lip. So you unstuck them with your fingers and they bleed more.
Whoa. Just a bit further.
Yeah, what's the first all of you?
Sure.
I think the journey with Roberto, it's inhuman. Only him and myself can really know what we went through. And I think the ignorance that we had of the elements is one of the key factors.
So we're here. This is the high point. I issued you the meat. You've done the trek up through the Chilean side. Just up here and over these serrated peaks is Argentina. And that's where it all happened. And it's just up here that Paralo and Canessa had to make their decision. Do they go back to Argentina, the crash site, or west into Chile?
When we were there, we needed God. And God was helping us. And I believe that there is a God we learned about in the mountain, that this is the God that you need when you are dying, for example.
The temperature is continuing to drop. Our ceiling that I mentioned before is continuing to drop down. Right now you can see the storm coming in, so this is where you will make camp. This is the way they eventually came, and it's the way you're going to be going starting tomorrow.
The thing I remember most is when I get to the top of the first mountain and I look to the west, and I thought that I would see the green valleys, and I stood there looking, and I turned around and 360 degrees around there were snow-covered peaks all around, not a single spot of green. Roberto grabbed my hand. He said, "We have had it, Nando. We have had it."
Toes warm enough?
No.
They can be cold, that's okay, but you need to be able to feel them.
No, it's the things I can't feel them.
Well then, take the poles and kick blood down into them. Like your hands will freeze if you don't do it.
I didn't have a clue on what I was doing. I was just surviving, and I reacted on instinct. I think I transformed myself into a survival animal over there, not a logical thinking person.
Looks like we're gonna have snow. I want you guys stomping out a platform just like this. You gonna be able to help us?
Yeah.
Okay. Break it down. We're gonna make a nice flat platform, and then we're gonna have to build you a wind wall.
One of the things that we learn in the mountains, that all the things that you have around you are useful. When we were very frozen, we need someone to be in our hands, so we recover the movement and all the warmth of the hand, because if we don't do this, we are going to have a gangrene, and maybe we lost a finger. So something that is very disgusting like this was a lovely massage to recover your hands.
After being sick earlier, Adam is eager to set up camp quickly. He takes the lead, but the strain is showing.
Freddie, if you and Carol start getting the 10 pieces out.
I am.
I'm sorry. Freddie?
Yeah?
Freddie? Freddie?
Yes?
If you and Carol start getting the tent out.
Yeah.
Because actually you can just lift it in place then.
Okay.
So you just start doing that.
I was absolutely shattered, not expecting to be so exhausted. And then I thought we'd finished the trek, we'd just come down towards near where the other tents were, and that was going to be it. We could sort of relax a little bit. Whereas instead we found that we had one flattened tent that we had to build ourselves and share ourselves. And that was a little bit upsetting.
Do you think it's going to be a storm?
Yeah. There's going to be a hell of a storm tonight.
Do you think so? Where's it going to come? From there? Or?
I don't know.
From there. From over there.
The sooner we can get this set up, then the sooner we can get in. Because if we get caught out here, then you're in a bit of bother. You know, if you put a group of 4 best friends up here, they'd be effing and blinding at each other every 5 minutes. And, you know, that's how they'd get out their frustration. But because we're kind of, you know, all new to each other, we've had to bypass that whole friendship side and go straight to having to rely on each other. So, you know, whenever you do feel frustration, you have to kind of bottle it up a bit.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Today was a bit of an insight for these people into what it's going to be like to live up here and to be safe up here. I think there's much too much passive sitting around, thinking that you'll get warmer, it'll get better, the sun will come out. I think everyone's facing things okay, but they're going to be on their own now, and they're going to have to change their attitude, they're going to have to change their actions.
From their vantage point on the peak, Parado, Canessa and Tintin had their own disagreement. Should they push on into Chile or retrace their steps and find the road which Canessa was convinced he could see in Argentina?
Nando still insists that the road doesn't exist, but this is the road that he takes when he goes to the grave to visit his mother. And he says, it was a very good decision, and I took that good decision, and it was good that you followed me. And I said, and you make me walk 10 days, and in 2 days we'll be in Argentina. But the true thing is that his project was stronger because it was simpler. Walk to the west.
John's worried about Adam's reaction to altitude and wants him to visit the expedition doctor.
Jean-Christophe? Jean-Christophe? You staying warm? Fingers and toes? Okay.
We're in now.
I would like you to come with me. I just want to make sure that you're okay. We'll go up, it'll be quick, and that way we have the assurance that everything's all right.
Where's Jean-Christophe?
He's digging a deep hole out there, which I can only imagine must be for your...
Potential lavatory.
Yes, comfort.
It's so sweet.
Great. Adam's just not looking all that good, you know. He hasn't got any color in his cheeks. He's shivering. His eyes are, you know, just sort of looking down all the time. He's cold. He was ill when he ate the meat. He's my biggest concern right now.
Please, could you take off your jackets? So I will take your pressure. So lie down. There. Yes. And give me your arm. How are you feeling today?
I was fine. It's just all it was we were made to eat sitting on a cold rock in the wind, eat cold meat. So, unsurprisingly, I got cold.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Or do you need this as well?
So you need to...
Adam is a wonderful mix of things, but he is a very finely tuned instrument.
Let's see.
His fingers and his feet were bloody and they were cold and they were cracked. And he just felt miserable. And it was, to my mind, every single minute he kept having to remake the decision to stay with us doing what we were doing.
80 with 40. We are really a low pressure people, no?
Yeah.
I know.
When you first get up to a higher point, you are just out of breath and tired and knackered. But literally within half an hour, I felt okay, which I'm really grateful for. I say the doctor, I think, is just willing me to be ill because I smoke.
Let me check. How is your oxygen in your blood?
But what's worrying me more than anything else is I haven't been to the loo for 9 days now, which is just not natural. And I don't even feel the need to. That's what's worrying me. I mean, I haven't... I mean, I don't want to go into everybody else's dynamics, but, you know, they've been going every day, and I haven't been to the loo now for 9 days. So, yeah, it's slightly worrying. I'm not quite sure what to do about it, but I'll guess just be the best of British and suck it up, so to speak.
Head cold in the night.
Carol's woken up this morning, and she's just not well.
I decided the way I was going to die.
Shivering and shaking.
Let's go, Nando. Let's take it.
Don't blow piles out of all proportion. Get soothing relief with Germaloid's HC spray.
extreme protection that lets you go wild. Sure.
What is soul?
I want somebody to tell me just what is the soul of man.
Who can say? All we can say is that when it's there, we like it. And when it's gone, we miss it.
I want somebody to tell me just what is the soul of man.
This weekend with The Independent. Get a free CD and book that could have you speaking essential German in only 6 weeks. The Instant German CD is free with The Independent this Saturday. And the companion book is free with The Independent on Sunday. Get started with The Independent.
Oh, if your lawn is a farce, weeds are right pain in the grass. Simply shake the sound and in a week. Cheer up evergreen, makes it lush and green. It's the easy peasy way to get the lawn of your dreams.
Normal's great when you get it back. That's why no matter how old your pet gets, we give you up to £7,000 of vet fees for each new illness or injury. And you also get a 15% discount online. To find out how you could get more and save more, visit us online or call 0800 300 800. More than. We do more.
After adding new toppings to our gold range, the only thing left to do now is bake more of it. Kingsmill, using our loaf.
Jeff, I've got it. We'll beat your insurance deal. I'll give you £50.
If it's cheaper, we'll drop our price and give you £50.
Kiss. No kiss.
We're so confident we'll beat your home insurance renewal that if it's cheaper, we'll drop our price.
Hello.
And give you £50 when you switch. Insurance from Barclays. Now there's a thought.
I'm gonna be out sooner than you think.
Where's my brother? Michael, we got a big problem.
Prison Break, 10 o'clock Monday on 5.
Is it cold in here?
Yeah.
After an 8-hour climb to 15,500 feet, the team have managed to build shelter. They are 300 yards away from the support team. Everyone is bracing themselves for the hard night ahead.
When we were inside the fuselage, we don't know how long we are going to be there, because sometimes we keep for a whole week. Maybe if all the week snow, it was very difficult to stay there inside. And also the floor was like this, so we have a very uncomfortable place to sleep and to move.
Carlitos was in charge of putting all the luggage every afternoon, every night to protect the cold and the snow. It was a very small space, of course. We were 29, yes, at the beginning. And probably there were just 5 square meters or something like that.
I remember it was so cold that the best thing that we could do or we could have regarding heating was first the covers from the seats that we took off with pieces of glass, and we threw them over ourselves. And then the breathing of the guy who was beside you. He said, come and breathe over me, because that was the only source of warmth that we had.
So we were freezing 30 degrees centigrade below zero, and this kind of cold, you don't feel it on the skin, you feel it on your bones. The bones begin to hurt you, and you want to grab of anything that can give you some warmth. So we grab to each other, but for sure, the coldness of the night in the mountains is something that you don't realize what you're facing.
It's a really cold night. It's probably going to get down to minus 20, minus 25. We're at very high altitude. We'll see how they get on tonight.
It's so, I mean, I've said this about 20 times, but it's just so cold. It's apparently minus 12 outside at the moment. Yeah. And if the wind starts blowing hard with wind chill, it's going to be minus 20. I didn't even think that temperature existed, but apparently that's what it's going to be. So we've all sort of praying strategically. We've all kind of timed when we've gone to the loo earlier this evening to desperately try and forestall. Obviously what's going to happen is that kind of during the most violent storm, I'm going to be desperate for the loo. I just know it's going to happen. Yeah. But apart from that, we've sort of, it's easy to kind of, you know, while you're kind of, you know, working and kind of suffering and so on, to kind of forget what you're doing. But actually what we're doing is really quite tough. And I think we should be quite pleased with ourselves for surviving so far.
Is this the hardest thing you've ever done?
That I've ever done?
Yeah.
Of course it is. I mean, I live a ridiculously kind of cushy life. I've never done anything like, well, I mean, I'm talking physically. I mean,
totally.
You know, I don't even do the great deal of exercise. I mean, I play tennis, you know, once a week. I don't climb the Andes. But anyway.
Can I ask you a question, all of you?
Yes.
If we suddenly had to end up in that situation, would you eat somebody else's flesh?
We talked about this earlier. You obviously can't say for sure unless you're in that situation. But the fact that all those people eventually did it suggests that we would. And I certainly would.
I would do. I mean, I know it sounds horrible, but from my attitude is once somebody dies, their spirit's gone, and all that's left over is it's like an item of clothing. So I'll say it now on camera. If we get in the shit tomorrow, and you're all stranded, you're more than welcome to eat me.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah. That's very kind of you, but there's nothing on you.
Well.
Can I put some ketchup on you?
You can nibble with your soy sauce. You're more than welcome.
It must be 3 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden the wind went f***ing crazy. And it must be at least 120 miles an hour. We were in the hand of nature. Forget walking for miles, forget sweating, forget not going to the toilet, forget not eating for 2 days, forget not having any proper food, not cleaning your teeth, this is nothing. All of a sudden, we were at the mercy of nature. I was scared, excuse my language.
By morning, the storm has moved west, leaving the group and support team freezing cold and exhausted. Carol has called for the doctor. Something is wrong.
Yes, please, give me a place.
No, we woke up this morning. I mean, last night was... I mean, to be honest, I slept through it, so I wasn't too aware. But then when I woke up this morning... Yeah. Okay. When I woke up this morning, it obviously was, well, below minus 20 last night, because there's snow inside the tent. Everything's frozen. And yesterday was so cold and so hard for everybody that Carol's woke up this morning and she's just not well.
Somebody, I need the oxygen and my bag.
Altitude is terrible for human beings. We were about 4,600 meters, and at the beginning, we are not able to stand up. Only stand up was like having a a very fat woman in your shoulder, and your head is like explode, you know?
It's like you don't have any more strength. When we were climbing and walking on the snow with Roberto, we had to breathe 5 times to make one step, you know? Because you get air into your lungs, but there's not enough air. You feel that there's air coming, but it doesn't have enough oxygen, I know. And you breathe, but you don't breathe.
That's good.
Look at the snow everywhere. Look at that.
Just breathe.
See, the thing is, last night, the wind came from over there. Therefore, logically, she should be fine. And she was in the wrong place.
Really sorry about this.
No, you don't have to be sorry. Because anybody who slept in that corner will have exactly the same. Please don't be silly. Carol, please, you've done very well. Come on, don't be silly. Anyone who slept there will have exactly the same problem.
With Carol's condition deteriorating, the support team called for the helicopter to get her off the mountain. She is showing severe signs of altitude sickness, and the freezing temperatures are debilitating. Everyone is hoping the sun will emerge soon.
Maybe you can stop and reflect on one of those nights that we were in those same places without anything, nothing.
Last night was pretty brutal. The folks, you know, they haven't had any calories.